Washington Post art critic and Pulitzer Prize winner Philip Kennicott wrote an article stating, "America needs an epic narrative right now. Painters are working on it." Well, I'm one of those painters. And the name of my project is 8 minutes 46 seconds, The Rise of Fascism in America. It tells the story from the murder of George Floyd to the January 6th insurrection. The purpose of the painting is to remind everybody where we are in history and that it's not done yet. But this is a revolutionary work of art. This is different. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sherry Alamanda. I've been painting since I'm 12. I learned the old master oil painting technique that has lots and lots of layers and lots of glazes. When I was younger, I just wanted to be a mother and an artist in that order. And I had a lot of belief and a lot of faith, and these are my children, Ariana and Julia. I paint photorealism. And I love art and I love sharing it. So I started 7 Fine Arts, which was a gallery, a studio, and an event space built in part by the people of Hoboken. We made it beautiful, wood floors, a fireplace, and I had people all the time in here. So I was doing well, my country was not. Trump was made president, and we swore that we would never forget, but yet hate builds up in every country, I guess. Someone said to me, "Trump's your president now, what are you going to do about it?" And I realized the artist has to do something about it. If we don't, who will? So I did what any mom would do. I handed out free tissues and hugs because I saw my community needed it. They were hurting, they were scared. But I had faith in people and I had faith in art and in my community. And so what I began doing was going out to marches. My first protest was the Women's March. I used my window display to tell the community how we felt and what we believed in, what was important to us. And then I got a step further and I started using the space moveon.org, indivisibility.org, using the space as a community meeting place to discuss what was happening in our country. In our country, things were getting bad. Children were behind cages, separated from their parents, and the First Lady really didn't care, did she? And this was our president. But I knew that there were people out there, politicians that were good people, and I was very fortunate to meet Ravi Bala. He was running for mayor of Hoboken, the town that I loved so dearly. And so when this happened, this hate crime, the night before the election, it was despicable, and I was terrified that Hoboken had fallen to hate. But Ravi won, and I was there, and I saw the win, and I was there for the inauguration, for Cory Booker to speak. And I had gotten to meet Cory because I knew Don Zimmer, our mayor, before Ravi. I decided I need to do something now. I needed to move my business. And so I closed up 7 Fine Arts, and I believed in my heart I could do something. I moved to Florida, right in the middle of red territory. I changed my voter status and I started working with the Democrats. I wanted to help Florida switch. I wanted to make some good trouble, but I also needed to do some work, so I did a bunch of art shows and more art shows. And I was very fortunate and I was very lucky because my work was well received and it sold and people were buying. And I had a really nice commission, and then I got 4 commissions. 4 commissions is a year's work at least. The Cultural Council of Palm Beach wanted me to do a solo show. This would have been the highlight of my career. This was incredible. The gallery space was so beautiful. And I really wanted to, but then COVID happened and things closed. And I wanted to do a piece about COVID. The curator said, "Yes, of course, do a piece about COVID. It's very important. This is," and then things got worse. I lost all 4 commissions in one day. And then this happened. And I wanted to do a piece about what was happening in America. So I spoke to the curator again. And I said, "I think I should do a small piece to talk about what's happening." And her attitude changed. And she told me that it was too controversial. So I canceled the show. So what would you paint to document this atrocity? Well, there's a lot to paint. There was a lot to paint. There were riots, fires, panics, protests. Our streets looked like a war zone. Every night there was something else happening. We saw the rise of Confederate flags. We saw police and protesters. We saw children on the street. We saw Hasidic Jews out protesting. We even saw Mennonites come out and protest against what was happening in the country while the president played golf and the Ku Klux Klan was rising. And more people came out and protested. I thought about the artists of the past, how they had taken what was happening in their world and made it into art that would affect people and influence people and bring to light what was happening in their society. And I realized our society is very, very different. I needed to tell the truth without exaggerating because our president was lying. And so I went out, I got my oils, I gathered references upon references, and I watched the news continuously to make sure everything was documented, everything that I was putting in the painting really happened. I worked in Photoshop, I worked in all different manners. It took a year to get to the point of having the composition done. I wanted the cacophony to be experienced. I wanted people to see what it felt like. But more importantly, I felt it was urgent to show our public, here, this is something different. Don't just look at it. You're on your phones all the time. How am I going to get this crowd of people that are on their phones to understand? Well, I paint photorealistically, and I realized that's something I could use to the benefit of this painting. If you Google reverse image on your phone and take a picture of the painting, this is what happens.
It's video that's been viewed around the globe, captured by a WBFO reporter in Buffalo as curfew arrives Thursday night. The fallout has 2 Buffalo police officers suspended without pay and the governor calling for their jobs.
In essence, the painting becomes a revolutionary new way of looking at art, combining our technology with old world techniques. Oh, do I regret not having that big solo show at the fancy, beautiful space with the gorgeous galleries? No, I don't. The curator told me my work was too controversial and that it would ruin my career. I have faith. My career is to be a mother and to be an artist and to share my love of art with people. The Washington Post critic wants to see the painting. That to me means more than anything. We, as a collective, rely on each other. Communities rely on each other to build. If you are someone that believes in the power of art, reach out.